Here we go. Okay, hello everyone. I think we're up and running. Yes, we are. Cool. How's it going, everyone? This is my second stream in 2 days, but we're going to be up to date now. This is almost the halfway point of the season. We'll be after this race. So we're flying through the season now. We've got 15 drivers today. One of them was a no-show. It's a little bit disappointing. We had some reserves from other teams we didn't get to race. But anyway, we are today at Sainte in France, in the Alps. Really long track, the longest that we've had for quite a while. And it'll be beaten. I think Le Mans is a little bit longer that we've got at the end of the season. So two iconic French tracks, one's real and one's not real. We haven't actually been here for a couple of years. So it'll be interesting to see how everyone's times are compared to a while ago. Everyone, obviously physics were a little bit different, but everyone I would say is a lot quicker now than they were 2 years ago. Anyway, the current situation in the standings is, well, basically Colin has a huge lead. He's got, I think, 4 P2s in a row. Still hasn't won a race yet, so we'll have to see if he can finally get his first win of the season. But I think if you win the championship without winning a race, I think you still take it. Jezza is the only person who's ever managed to do that. But I think there's like 2 or 3 people who were leading the championship without a race win, including me, somehow. Midding your way to the top. So, what's the grid look like today? Wack, who was leading the championship after the first round, didn't actually get a lap in here. He, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know how you don't get a full lap in. Potentially made a pit stop too late and then invalidated a lap or something like that, but he's going to have to work his way from the back. So that he's a race winner. X90G is also a race winner. He's starting P14, so pretty surprising to see him that low down. Then we've got Yuri in P13 in the McLaren. JMS a little bit higher than last week in P12 in the Toyota, followed by Pasty in the Mazda. Had some pace last week, but had some issues as well. H-Boss in the top 10 in the Audi. Zimmer, much better qualifying, up in P9 in the Supra. I think the Supra could be quite strong here in the race. Joe, I'm going to call him Joe, is P8 in the Renault. We know the Renault is lightning off the line, so he could potentially be in the top 5 before turn 1. Turbo Boy in the Lambo in... actually, let's just double check everyone's on the softs. They are. Okay. Turbo Boy in the Lambo is in P7. Then we've got Cherry in the Citroen, another one that starts well in 6th. Colin, our championship leader, only in 5th. That might be one of his worst qualifyings that we've had so far. Then we've got Deco in P4 trying to mount a challenge. He's P3 in the standings at the moment. Pyro, who's also a race winner, same as Deco, up in 3rd place. Spin, who performed incredibly well last week, up in 2nd. And his BMW teammate, Harry, in 1st. So we've got a close battle in the constructors between Team BMW and Team McLaren. Who's the other McLaren? It's Yuri. So Yuri has to really try and get to the top 10 and start contributing a little bit, and they might be able to push away, but it's looking a bit ominous because we've got the 2 BMWs right at the top. BMW looks like it's the strongest once again. It did get a nerf, but I think it actually might have helped it with its stability. So swings and roundabouts. But anyway, let's get this sprint race. We only got 5 laps because the track is so long. Sainte Croix, 5 lights on. Oh, the BMW is going to keep it into turn 1, or is Pyro in the Alpha going to manage to get both of them? It looks like a good start from Pyro. He's going in between the 2 BMWs. Deco is there as well. We can't really see what's going on. Pyro's got the inside line into turn 1. He's got that position on Spin. Deco's there trying to get in the action as well. Let's see what's going on here. Deco on the outside for the next braking zone. So this is going to be difficult for him to get this position. Spin looking a little bit shaky at the start of this race. Here comes Colin, makes a little bit of contact, nothing too bad. Deco going a little bit wide round that corner and is about to lose it. Spin a little bit of contact in the braking zone again. It looks like everyone has got away with it there. Turbo on the grass has lost a huge amount of positions, down to 12th now. H-Boss really struggling on the start as well, down to 14th, and Yuri struggling down to 15th at the front. So it looks like Harry and Pyro are leaving Spin a little bit at the start of this race. Deco and Colin really close behind. Cherry just a solid P6. Joe in 7th, and then we've got a bunch of drivers very close together here. So we've got Pasty in P8, Zimmer in 9th still, and JMS, pretty good start for him. He's up in 10th. Turbo trying to recover there. Everyone making it round. Wax trying to recover there as well. He's down in 13th at the moment. So it's all pretty much as you were, but it looks like Colin might be lining up a move on Deco here. This is a really tricky corner. Deco's got it a little bit wrong, and Colin nearly spins it. He's going to lose all his momentum. This might bring Cherry in. Maybe he'll recover because he's still in Deco's slipstream here. Deco might reel in Spin on the run down to this fast chicane. Is he going to be brave and go for it? Spin's going defensive, and he keeps the spot. It's not over yet. Is Deco going to chuck it on the inside of this hairpin? No, he doesn't. So Spin really struggling on this opening lap. Colin already recovered. Cherry's going to join this as well. And everyone else is pretty much as you were. X90G, good start for him. He's up to 11th from near the back. Whack trying to get a move done on, defend, sorry, from H-Boss, that P12. It's going to be a little drag race down here between these two. Whack's going to put a nose in front. Actually, he's not. The next corner is going to favour H-Boss as well. Turbo dropping all the way down at 15th, so it's been a terrible opening lap for him. Okay, it is pretty much as you were. Let's see if there's anything going on. Deco is going again for a move on Spin. Let's stick with him. I have a feeling that fast right-hander will suit the Mazda. It loves those kind of corners. A little bit deep there again for Spin. This is going to be Deco's position. Oh, he gives him a bump draft by mistake, and yeah, that's going to be Spin keeping that. That's a get out of jail free card for sure. Might be able to get a better exit here. No, Spin gets quite a good exit himself. That's probably a bit too far back for Deco to think about anything into turn 1. So we are just finishing the first lap. Harry has a comfortable victory lead so far, sorry. JMS on reverse grid pole. Wax struggling still down in 13th. Yuri's dropped to the back as well. So yeah, Harry's completely dropped Pyro. Then you've got this group of 3 cars still very close together. Deco having a lot of trouble overtaking Spin. Oh, Pyro's off. Pyro's off. Let's see what happened there. So you got the double right-hander here. That one was fine. There we go. And yeah, I don't know what he was playing at, but that's going to be a second or 2 lost. Here comes Spin. Now he's going to have a lot of trouble behind him. And he might have a little bit of dirty tyres as well. Spin's got a bit of a run now. Got about 10 cars all in this little battle. So Harry's the only one that's really managed to break free as it stands. What can Spin do on this run? This is a very tricky corner. Easy to go into the gravel on the exit. Everyone seems to have gotten through. Colin's still putting a lot of pressure on Deco. But yeah, he's just down in 5th at the moment. He's used to finishing in 2nd place. So a lot would need to change. Deco's gone wide into that corner again. See how Colin just closed in, but then Deco was a bit earlier on the acceleration. Colin wasn't able to feel as comfortable. He's actually got a run on Spin. That was a great exit from Deco compared to the others. Spin a little bit wide through there. Everyone going all the way down into 3rd gear bad looks and things, which is very cautious around that corner. You can take a little bit more speed. Yeah, quite difficult to get an overtake done by the looks of it. Collins dropped off the back of Deco a little bit there. Now if Deco gets a good exit here, he's going to have a good run on spin. He's definitely in the slipstream now. Both of them race winners, as is Pyro this season. There we go. Is he going to be able to make the corner a little bit deep into the corner? Spin saw it and got out of the way, and Deco gets that position. Is Spin going to be able to get a bit of a run with a better exit from this little chicane there? Spin's trying to take a little bit more angle, but goes a little bit too wide. And Deco gets another car's length of a gap. Now this is where Spin really struggled on this corner. Looks like he's got a little bit wide in the corner again, a bit of understeer going on with his car, but he got a decent enough exit into the braking zone. We're just ending lap 2 now. Collins got a huge run on Spin, so Spin's getting held up a little bit. Spin's feeling like he has to go defensive here, and Colin manages to get along the inside into the corner. Is he going to be braver on the brakes? He is, and he gets that position by the looks of it. It's fully completed. Spin puts a tyre on the grass, loses a little bit of momentum as a result. Cherry's still pretty close to this battle as well, so he's not out of the picture for a podium. Pyro not able to get away at the moment, so Spin down into 5th now. Deco, what can he do? Can he catch Pyro here? Fastest lap at the moment at 4.8. Oh, Pyro spun it. Pyro spun it. Oh dear. Onto the gravel. You know, last time I commentated Sainte, it was a different layout, but he span after putting it on the gravel there as well. So yeah, a bit of a lack of attention, and Collins just taking advantage of that and overtook Deco. So let's see how he managed this. So Deco obviously all out of shape trying to avoid Pyro. He's a little bit too close to Pyro when Pyro started spinning. Deco slamming on the brakes there. Colin just said thank you very much. And now our championship leader's up into his favourite position, P2 once again. What can Deco do? Is he going to try and get the move back? Spin's going to be in there to take advantage as well. Pyro down to 5th now. And Colin defends pretty well. Spin might be able to get Deco here. That was a lovely run out of that corner. And he does get it back, so Deco's going to send it. Can he hold it? Oh, Spin can't hold it. He nearly span. It's nearly true to his name. That was a lot of braking there from Deco. A little bit too much. Now Pyro's going to be all over the back of him. Again, it looked like a fairly decent exit. Pyro and Cherry pretty close now. Yeah, not a full spin. He's still in the mix. That means he's improving. His spins are not full spins anymore. So some interesting lines through that corner. None of them were optimal. Spin struggling through that corner as well. Deco's got a good run. Oh, what happened? What happened? I go off him for a split second. Let's see. I think he's going to go into the wall on the exit based on the noise that I heard. Yeah, there's a wall there. So how many positions is this? He's got 2 lots of damage as well. Pasty's going to come through, so that's 2 Mazda's in the top 6 today. Zimmer's going to follow him through as well. Yeah, Pyro should have really gone defensive there. I don't know why he didn't, because he's going to lose that spot to Zimmer. Yeah, he has to slot in behind. Not much he could do. A little bit further up, Spin is ahead of Deco. Still, Deco didn't manage to get that position. For now, Colin's completely left both of them. Maybe Colin can try and chase down Harry. We'll have to wait and see. Spin, again, like we were saying, struggles around that corner. Deco didn't get a good exit himself. Cherry, all of a sudden, is about to go into the top 4 here in his Citroen. Deco very late on the brakes. He's going to be able to turn it in and take the corner. He does, a little bit wide. Cherry lost a little bit of traction as he got the acceleration on, so Deco looks like he's going to be safe for now. Pyro under pressure, trying to take Zimmer now. And X90G just behind as well. So Zimmer is going to try a little switch back. And yeah, everyone's pretty much line astern. H-Boss in P10, so at the moment the Audi is going to be starting reverse grid pole. Turbo Boy's worked his way back up from last to 11th, JMS falling back, Wax in pretty much no man's land, getting overtaken here from Joe, who must have been in the wars himself. He's dropped right back, and Yuri is not going to be contributing to the McLaren total, at least in this sprint race, by the looks of it. Harry with the fastest lap, 3 minute 3.4. We've seen another change somewhere. Pyro's trying to get Pasty here, and Pasty is going to say, I don't think so, not just yet, and keeps the spot. Pyro putting a lot of pressure on Pasty now. Oh, Pasty a little bit deep there. That shut these angles. These camera angles are awful. Yeah, we saw him go a little bit deep in the corner, and it ended up being quite a straightforward overtake there for Pyro in the end. Oh, has there been an incident? So, Natty G and Zimmer side by side now. H-Boss in there as well. And he just got on the throttle too early, so did H-Boss. They both go on the grass. Zimmer's going to get past X90G, unless he can hold it around the outside here. And it looks like Zimmer's won, and H-Boss is going to go through as well there. It's a bit of a sloppy corner. And here comes Turbo Boy trying to get into the top 10 as well. He's trying to go in the middle of them both. That's not a good idea, I don't think. He's braking incredibly late. He's going to go too deep. H-Boss is going to get that position back, surely. No, Turbo rejoins. And he gets a half-second penalty for his troubles. Yeah, just too late. H-Boss brakes too late now and hands 2 positions back. Oh, and he's a little bit in the gravel. He's going to have to worry a little bit about Joe for the next lap as well. A little bit further up, Pasty is still ahead of Pyro. I saw them having a little jostle earlier in the lap, but Pasty's still got the position. A little bit further up, everyone's started to space out quite a lot. Harry's got an enormous lead. Mason struggling a little bit around that corner, not under any pressure. Spin, not really under any pressure as long as he doesn't make any mistakes now. Deco, we've got Cherry, then this nice little battle here. Ooh. You can hear the tyres absolutely crying going around that corner. Pasty struggling with the penultimate corner. That is a really difficult one to get right, and if you don't get it right you lose a huge chunk of time. So we're rounding the final corner now to enter the final lap of the race. Something's going on here. Oh, Turbo's had to serve his half-second penalty, that's why. Okay, we don't need to see that. And there's him just getting the position. And now we've got a little drag race between the Renault and the Audi. The Audi should win this. Yeah, and he hits the wall for good measure. He's going to try and get that position into turn 1. Not much he can do there. This is quite an important battle because if anything happens on this last lap, this suddenly becomes pole position for the race. If someone else has a little incident, everyone's pretty close together from P2 down to P12. Oh dear, that might be it over now for Joe. Big mistake there. What about this little battle? Turbo Boy currently has reverse grid pole in the Lambo. And he's gone for it! That was outrageous. I don't know if that would have been a penalty. I think it might have been. A little push to pass, I think. Pasty still holding off Pyro well. He's actually seems to be driving away from Pyro a little bit. Any battles going on further up? Not at all. There's Cherry, there's Pasty, Pyro. So let's stick with Zimmer and Turbo Boy. Turbo doing a sterling job at the end of this race, catching up to a lot of drivers and getting some moves done. And it looks like he's got bags of pace compared to Zimmer on this last lap. He's got so much more tyres, that's why. Zimmer's already about 50% worn here. And Marriott himself is getting caught pretty quickly by H-Boss, but we'll stick with this one. Turbo's going for it into the chicane. He went very deep into the chicane in the last lap. Are they going to make contact? Actually, no contact at all there. Good overtake for Turbo Boy. X90G holding off H-Boss just for that final spot in the top 10. Zimmer trying to have a little look back at Turbo Boy. This is bringing both X90G and H-Boss into the mix for these last few corners. Zimmer's not going to be close enough to have a move himself. I don't think anyone's going to be close enough, so it's just going to be a question of can everyone make this corner. It's pretty neat and tidy for Turbo, a lot more tidy for Zimmer. And he has to be because that Natty's very close behind now. It looks like he got a better exit out of that corner as well. So you're going to see some unique lines through this corner, everyone taking slightly different angles. Marriott looking like he had some really good speed through there and went a little bit wide because he caught up to Zimmer a little bit too quickly. But let's go to the front because rounding the final corner to take lights to flag victory. It's going to be a BMW once again. This time it is Harry, so big well done. Sprint race winner. Colin, another P2 to extend his lead at the championship. Spin is in P3, Deco's in P4. Then we've got Cherry just ahead of Pasty in the end, who seemed pretty happy with his P6. Pyro in 7th, Turbo Boy 8th, Zimmer in 9th, just ahead of X90, and H-Boss starting down in 11th by 0.0, well, less than half a second there. Joe is going to be starting 12th in the feature. Yuri is going to be 13th. Whack must have had an absolute nightmare down in 14th. Same with JMS, who's having a bit of a rough time. So far this season, ever since he disconnected from the lead in Tokyo, I think it's been a bit of a rough one. So now, this feature race is going to be interesting. We're going to see, surely, a lot of different strategies. I need to do a content search, 1 second. So in my tier, which is the other tier 3, we had someone win the race doing a medium-soft strategy. We saw hard-medium strategy, we saw medium-medium-soft, we saw medium-soft-medium, we saw medium-soft-soft, we saw any variation of those. So I'm hoping it's going to be the same here. Right, so before we do anything, oh my god, what's going on? Oh, has there been a lobby glitch in this race? Medium, 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 hards for Turbo, hards for Pyro, softs for Pasty, okay. Cherry medium, hards for Deco, mediums for Spin, hards for Mason, hards, 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 medium for Whack, and medium. So a huge mixture. The front guys, the front 3 all on mediums. Turbo's the highest hard runner, and then Pasty is the highest soft runner. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I think I heard about this, and it would have been a restart, but I'm not sure that Pyro noticed that there was an issue. I don't think it was mentioned in the in-game chat, so there wasn't a restart. Let's see what's going on here. There are yellow flags out. Right, let's go back. Let's ride on board with Pyro. So it looks like... yeah, it kind of looks like some of them didn't react, but that isn't actually what happened. So let's go back again. Let's look at Zimmer. It starts too quickly here. So he over-reps first gear, actually. So that might have just been a mistake. I'm not sure. I don't think that was just a mistake. But he loses. He drops all the way back to 7th. So I'm sure he's pretty fuming at that. Everyone is going, though. So we'll have to see. Is anyone else massively out of position? Let's see what happened to Colin. Colin did get overtaken straight away as well. The McLaren doesn't start that badly, so our championship leader has a big issue here at the start of this race. He's down in 12th at the moment. Yeah, the blue flags are still out for some reason. So at the front, Marriott is winning by quite a way. Pyro's up into 2nd ahead of Pasty, Turbo Boy, and the rest of the group. Zimmer's actually worked his way back up into 5th there. And remember, Pasty's on the soft, so let's see how Pasty... oh, Pyro, come on. What's gone on here? This is the 2nd race in a row Pyro's been in 2nd place, and then gone onto the gravel. So that's fine. And then away he goes. So that's Pasty through. Pasty will be very pleased with that. He's got some clear air in front of him already on those soft tyres. Remember, Pyro's on the hards, as is Turbo Boy. Turbo's absolutely sent it again into that corner. Goes a little bit too deep there. Pyro gets the position back. Turbo might be under threat here from Zimmer. And Cherry, who's trying to get through. Deco up into 7th now as well. So everyone, Pyro's at the front of a huge train at the moment. Turbo Boy is going to be the first one. He's going to brake incredibly late, yeah. Yeah, and then Pyro's going to get the switch back again. So that's the 2nd time. Turbo Boy not able to get the move done. Is Zimmer going to follow him through as well? Can't quite do it, but Turbo's chucking it in again. And that has resulted in Pyro going into the wall for a 2nd time on this lap. I wonder if that's been reported, because it does look like it would be a bit of a penalty, to be honest. Though chucking it in at every corner is not an advisable thing to do, even if you think you could make the overtake work. That one, he wasn't alongside at all. That would be quite a straightforward penalty. Pyro's got damage and he's down into 8th position now. So any advantage that he got from the start is completely evaporated. Now he's down to 10th because he took that corner poorly. He's going to make that 11th because he's got damage on his car. Make it 12th because Colin's right there as well. And his own teammate is in the mix. God, are we going to go full wide into the chicane? Wack completely backs out of it. Here's JMS. Oh dear, this is carnage. What's going on up here? We've got the BMW pretty close together. Spin's gone for an audacious move on Cherry. There's contact between Cherry and Deco. Turbo Boy's just span out. He already got himself a penalty. Oh man, what an opening lap. So this is the penalty for Turbo Boy because he just cut the chicane, even though he lost loads of time there. So that's going to be a half second. He's probably seen that and he's fuming. And then, yeah, just loses it on the acceleration, even though he was in 2nd gear. Should have given him a bit of extra traction. He's trying to make it work at first and eventually gets going. Yuri must have had some issues as well. So JMS at the back of the leading pack. Wack just had a great exit from the corners, just got himself up 2 positions there, and now he's got Deco in his way. These two very close together coming into the next corner. Wack's going to try and hold it around the outside on these medium tyres. And he's into the top 10 for the first time today. Also in the top 10 for the first time in quite a while is Joe. He's ahead of Pyro, who's trying to recover now on his hard tyres. Doing this corner on hard tyres is pretty hard. Oh, very deep there. Now is Deco going to capitalise? He should be able to. Pyro's got a slipstream though. And breaking into the final corner, it's a little bit of concertina, a little bit of contact there. Pyro's actually got a huge run here on the Renault, and this should be fairly straightforward. Alpha versus Renault engine. I'm going to have to go and see what's going on a little bit further up as well. There looks like a great battle there between the BMW and the Citroen. Joe's going to hold it around the outside and keeps the position on Pyro. Let's go back and see what was going on here. Cherry defending for his life against Spin. They're both going to be very slow through this corner, and Harry's going to, and very wide through the corner as well, and that's why Harry's closed in on the back of these guys. Got Cherry 4th and Zimmer 3rd. Zimmer on the mediums, Cherry on the mediums, Pasty on the softs, Nate on the mediums as well. So who's the highest placed hard runner? It's Harry. Harry's doing pretty good then. He was nowhere near the highest, but Pyro and Turbo had their mistakes. So Harry is going to potentially struggle to keep up with these two unless they keep fighting each other. So it's looking like a very solid start here for the X90G and for Pasty. This is perfect for Pasty. He's got clear air, he's got maybe 3 or 4 laps on these softs before he has to come in. The Mazda can do longer than a lot of other cars on the tyres. Not sure how good Pasty personally is on his tyre wear. I'll have to see how long he can make these last. They're already 30% worn. Setting some quick time though. And yeah, he's got a huge gap, about 5-second gap over Zimmer. And then we got Cherry and Spin still separated by absolutely nothing here. They've completely left Harry on the hards, but that's fine for him because he's on a completely different strategy. He'll be hoping that his teammate can get past Cherry and hold Cherry up potentially a little bit for later in the race. Joe also on the hards, so this is an amazing start for Joe. Mediums for Whack. He needs to try and get past this hard-tired car fairly quickly. And Pyro's dropped to 9th, so Pyro's had another issue, but we won't go back and see what's happened. A bit wide through that corner for both of them. You can really cut as much as possible to get a better angle into the second part of that chicane. So this is going to be a good example of the hards versus the mediums around this corner. Whack should have so much better grip through here. And you can see he's closing in, but then the next corner comes, and if he gets a good exit here, he could get the position, but he goes wide instead through the corner. He's not going to get that position. A little bit further up, Spin has got past Cherry. So how'd that happen? Cherry goes wide on the same corner, hits the wall as well, so that's fairly easy overtake for Spin. Cherry doesn't have damage, so he can just try and stick with Spin now. What's the fastest lap going to be? It's a 3:06 on the mediums, 3:08 for Pasty on the softs. That's not the best. Another 6 for Zimmer, so Zimmer's lapping really good. And 8 for Cherry and Spin who've been battling. A 9 for Harry on his hards. 8 for Joe on his hards. That's pretty impressive. Whack versus Pyro, and JMS in there as well. And Deco's in here as well. So we have 4 drivers here, all joined together. Oh dear, Whack's gone off, Deco's gone off. Finding these corners incredibly difficult. Colin's going to go through on Whack now. He's going to catch up a little bit to Deco. Colin's also on the hard, so even though he's in 11th, the positions that he's lost are to a lot of cars on softer tyres. Also, he's not actually that far away time-wise. So Pyro putting on pressure on JMS. JMS think about going defensive. Pyro considering a bit of a dive. JMS covers it very nicely. JMS on the mediums, Pyro on the hards. Pyro's doing really good to put the pressure on here. And this is going to be another corner where the softer compound is going to help massively. JMS chucks it in. Pyro's a lot more careful. JMS gone wide. Pyro should get a much better exit here, and he does. That's going to be an easy position. What could JMS do? Could he get in the slipstream and have another look into the chicane, or did Pyro have too much momentum? Looks like it's done and dusted for Pyro, so he can continue his charge up. Spin's lost the position back to Cherry as well, so these two not able to find that much consistency. Harry's actually starting to catch them up. He's looking a lot closer in the wing mirror than he did previously. Even though Spin's already almost a second up on his previous lap time. Looks like Cherry's looking after his tyres slightly better as well, which is a surprise to me, because when I was testing the BMW, it was a couple of seasons ago though, it had one of the best tyre wears. Cherry looked like he was a little bit wide through there, but took more speed than Spin. Spin probably lifting a little bit too much to hit the apexes. He'll be better on Spin's tyres though, doing that. So what are we going to see? Some improved lap times here. So another 3 minutes 6. Pasty's already in on the end of lap 3, so Zimmer's going to move up into P2. He is in the 8s this time round. Cherry's in the 6s, so he's improved a lot. Same for Spin in the 6s. 7s on the hards for Harry, pretty impressive stuff. A 9 that time for Joe, a 9 for Pyro and for JMS. An 8 for excuse me, an 8 for Colin and an 11 for Whack. And out comes Pasty into P13 on the softs. Make that P12 because he's already going to make up a position. And this is going to be interesting to see. He's lost a lot of track position, but he's going to be absolutely rapid compared to these guys for the next, I suppose it's going to be the next 3 laps. Trying a very audacious strategy here. And he's yeah, the problem is, if all these guys hadn't made mistakes, Passy would have loads of clear air to execute this strategy, but we've seen loads of people getting damaged, spinning, hitting walls, hitting each other, and those are the people that Pasty's going to have to pass next. But yeah, you can see he's getting a little bit closer to Deco every time. His Deco's name's just appearing and disappearing, which is all distance based here. A little bit wide for Whack through that corner as well, you could see, so that's going to bring Deco into Whack. Oh, someone's made a mistake. What's going on here? Colin and Joe. Can't even see where Joe is. Joe's up in 6th. Oh dear, okay. Right. There we go. So what happens? Joe's all on his own in 6th. I did say it's easy to go into the gravel here, so is that what we're about to see? We are just 2, yeah, he can't get himself back onto the road. He doesn't have any damage at this point. And then he's trying to go into the corner. Yeah. I don't know if he just didn't see Colin. But yeah, let's see that from Colin's point of view. That was a strange incident. Yeah, you can't really go too wide through the corner anyway. I think both of them could have probably done a bit better. Colin could have taken a wider line through that corner, and Joe did not hug the apex as much as you'd want to do as a recovering car. So another one, I don't know if that's in the stewards either. I haven't taken any notice of the steward reports this season. Here's 2 Mazdas doing some formation overtaking, I'm assuming. Pasty on the softs. Deco's going to let him past here. Is he? What is going... What was that? Oh, come on, guys. Well, they both survive anyway. I guess they don't... maybe Deco doesn't know that Pasty's on the softs right now. Or maybe he didn't feel like he could, because look how close everyone else is behind. The nerf on the Bimmer will show itself in next week. The BMW is going to be good at Largo. At Laggy Maggie. So Pasty really struggling. Like I said, he came out in all this traffic, and now he's going to have to work his way through more traffic. He was gifted a couple of positions there with the incident, and then he's lost it with his own incident with his teammate, which is unfortunate. Yuri's going to hold it around the outside there. Fantastic from Yuri. Colin now putting pressure on Deco, both of them on hard tyres. Deco a little bit wide through these corners. It's funny, actually, that happened, because something very similar happened with me and Hurricane at that exact same corner. So that corner's not lucky if you're a teammate and your other teammate's close to you. Although we survived a little bit better than they did. Here we go, Colin on the inside of the final corner. He's going to be able to stick it. He is. Deco tried to pinch him and it didn't work out. Now Pasty is going to probably get his teammate this time round. Lovely inverted colours on these liveries as well. There we go, Pasty up into 10th. He needs to overtake the championship leader pretty quickly here. This is going to be a hard one for Colin to get his first victory in, that's for sure. Now Deco's giving his teammate a little bump, it looks like. Give him a little bit of help on his way. Pasty's still got loads of life in these tyres. This is his second lap on these softs. Colin a little bit deep, that's going to close Pasty in massively. And is he going to chuck it in? You've got to here, you've absolutely got to when you're on the softs. And it's going to be, yeah. I was going to say it's going to be very straightforward, but Colin's actually coming back on him. The door was left open, Pasty went a little bit on the grass, lost some momentum, but there you go. The exit of that corner shows you just how strong the soft tyres are right now. So let's see what the lap times are looking like. We've got Zimmer in the 8s, sorry, XIG in the 8s, Zimmer's up in the 7s, doing good. 8s for Cherry, still just ahead of Spin. Spin not able to get past him and just get the move done and drive away. And yeah, he should have stayed in Cherry's slipstream there, he'd have been a lot closer right now. Unless he doesn't want to go for the move. That's entirely plausible. If it was me, I'd probably just be fuel saving. Oh no. There's a push to pass if you've ever seen one. Obviously unintentional, but yeah, Cherry's had an unlucky season, and this was a really solid start for him, so I think he'll be a little bit annoyed at that one. Pyro recovering, he's up in 6th place on the hards. So Harry's still the highest hard-tired runner, then Pyro is the second highest hard-tired runner. Pyro lapping in the 8s, Harry in the 9s, JMS in the 8s, Whack in the 9s, and Pasty is going to be trying to overtake him next. He's already caught up to Whack. And yeah, nothing he could do there. I think he could have tried to scare Whack a little bit by pulling out before the braking. This should be the corner, it happens. Pasty can take this flat out, but if he gets the angle right and Whack doesn't, he'll just completely slide through. He's got the angle all wrong, look how much he's lifting, never mind. Really tight on the entry there, you need to take as wide an entry as possible and try and hit the 2 apexes whilst going flat out. There is a way of doing it. You can even do it on the hards if you get the angle like 100% spot on. Wax coming into the pits, he's indicating. So, the first of the medium runners in are Cherry and Whack. That's going to put Pasty up into 7th, and he's actually got some clear air now. JMS a good few seconds ahead of him. Let's see what Cherry's going to do. Is he putting in fuel? It looks like he is. It's Whack as well. So 71% for Cherry. He does come out in clear air, which Pasty didn't. So this is working out pretty nicely now that Cherry's come in. He did lose a couple of seconds with that incident, but he can get a nice undercut on Spin now potentially here. He's on the mediums as well, so he's doing a medium soft, I reckon. Wax on the softs, so he should be able to close into Cherry on this lap and get a nice undercut on a lot of people. Needs to keep it a little bit less wide than that. Yuri in 12th after his pit stop. Deco in 13th and Turboy's last. We've lost someone, I'm not sure who we lost. X90G meanwhile has a huge lead. Like the lead that Harry had in the sprint is X90G's in the feature. We know that this Ford GT is absolutely lovely on tracks like this where there are a lot of straights. It's got a great engine. It doesn't corner too well. It's got good tyres, bad fuel. So it kind of depends what track you're at as to how good this car actually is. It's not a jack of all trades, but it is kind of a master of some. I think it's going to be very, very strong at the end of the season at Le Mans. It was already very strong at Tokyo earlier. Not as strong here, because the straights don't go on for as long, but still, look at the job that he's doing. Zimmer as well doing a sterling job here. This might be his strongest form of the season so far, these opening 6 laps. It's been trying to catch up to him, but they are lapping very similarly, as is Harry. So we're at the crossover point now for the mediums and the hards. Harry lapping the exact same times as his teammate. And Pyro's not too far back, despite his issues. So he definitely has good pace here. His most recent lap was his quickest, even though his hards are almost 50% won. He's gapped JMS. He is pasty catching up to JMS like we thought he would do a little bit on this lap, but I think they both might be coming into the pits here. So Pasty will probably do mediums for the rest of the race. 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, can you do 7? No, he might have to do a soft, hard strategy, actually. Anyone else at the front coming in? Zimmer not coming in. Neither is X90G, neither is Spin. Harry on his hards carries on. Pyro, I'm assuming. Oh, he's coming in, so this is strategic for Pyro. He wants to get off the hards. Harry's come in as well, actually. Everyone is diving into the pits, including JMS, Pasty, Colin, our championship leaders in the pits. What about H-Boss? I think the people who are staying out might be trying the one-stop here. So he gets promoted to 4th. This is the difference in the strategy. Someone who was outside the top 10 a couple of laps ago, now up in 4th, potentially with the same number of pit stops left as everyone else. Cherry, I reckon he'll have to stop one more time, but his tyres look absolutely lovely. Then Harry comes out in 6th. Not that far ahead of Whack, who's on the soft tyres. Whack might start putting some pressure on Harry. Harry's on the mediums, Whack on the softs. I think the people who've put on mediums will be going to the end. Yeah, they should be, if they can make them last. The last lap is going to be interesting again with the tyre wear. People will have very different levels of wear by the end of the race. Here's Yuri just ahead of Colin. These are teammates. Let's see if we have some better teammate orders than we've seen so far. Yuri nearly losing it there, and he is, yeah, there is definitely a lift there. Mason's going to take that. Nice little team game, but Yuri's still doing pretty good in this race. Oh, Colin! He's going to get a bump from his teammate. Pasty's going to close in a little bit on both of them, though. This always happens when you overtake your teammate. You just make a mistake instantly and cause issues for both of you. That's happened to me many a time. Look at the difference in how Colin and Yuri chucked it into that corner. Colin just basically on the entry, forget about the gravel for a second, he just gained about a second on him just with the way that he entered. So let's go back and analyse that a little bit, actually. I'm curious to see. So coming up here, I'm assuming Colin doesn't brake at all. Oh, he does. He applies 50% brake for a very short period of time. Yuri, coming out of here, let's see how much he brakes. 100% for a shorter length of time, but then he slides the car. So a little trick for that corner, you don't actually need to brake. If you apply the throttle a very small amount, it helps with the rotation through the corner. So you can lift fully, apply the throttle a tiny bit, and that's better than braking. But yeah, Yuri loses that position to Pasty. It looks like is Pasty going to be able to keep it? He is indeed. But yeah, that'll help you with any long corners like that. If you need that extra rotation, just a tiny bit of throttle is more helpful than being completely off throttle, and obviously you don't want to be braking where you don't need to. And not braking in the middle of corners is better for your tyres as well. Oh dear. Pasty's going to let him through, yeah. And JMS is going to get through both of them. Yeah, nice for JMS. Now let's ride on board with at the pit lane, because X90G's in the pits. Zimmer is following him, but look at the gap between these two. Yeah, that is a huge gap, but X90G has to put in loads of fuel. Like we said, the 4GT is thirsty, so he's going to lose a lot of his lead there. Zimmer's in, Spin's in. What about H-Boss? Is he coming in as well? He's a long way back. He's nearly been caught by Cherry, who's the highest driver, who's made a pit stop. Out comes X90G. It looks like it's going to be a comfortable... Actually, Zimmer's ahead of him. Zimmer has underfueled massively and takes the lead of the race because he's put on soft tyres. He's going to do 3 and 3. He's doing the opposite of what his teammate Pasty's done. I think this might have been the better strategy. So he is going to try and run away from X90G and build up a great lead here to try and come in and out, still in at least a podium position. And again, he's going to be really fast at the end of the race. X90G on the hards. Cherry's up into P3 now on the mediums. He did stay ahead of both BMWs. Harry in P4, Spins in 5th on the hards, and Wack is right at the back of them on his soft tyres. This is his 3rd lap on the softs. Can he close in on the hard tyres of Spin? He should really be able to. This should be a fairly straightforward overtake in the next corner or two. Look at the difference in grip. Now he has to chuck it. Oh, Spin's going defensive. He's not going to be able to chuck it on the inside. Switch back. Good exit there for Spin. Going defensive again into this corner. That was a good idea, but Wack should be able to cut back and get a good exit. And he can't really. But surely, Spin's losing a lot of time here. He should just let Wack through. They're not on the same strategy. And he does. He concedes the position. Wack's going to be off, but he's potentially in the pits at the end of this lap or the next one. Probably the next one. Okay. What about a little bit further back? Collins up into 8th now. Not going to have to pit again. So he is going to leapfrog some people. Oh, there's something going on down here. Deco, Yuri and Turbo Boy 3 wide into this corner. Deco twitchy on the exit. Now Yuri and Turbo Boy are trying to get through. And Deco gets the position. Are they all going to make it? They do. A little bit of contact. It's all very tight here. H-Boss comes out down in P14 in last place. But again, he's not going to have to pit again. Some of these guys are. And yeah, they're all very close together now. And Deco's got himself a second penalty for cutting the corner there at the chicane there. So he's potentially dropping, well yeah, he's definitely going to be dropping all the way to last place. Let's see what's going on at the front. Zimmer's definitely stretched his lead there. He was 3 seconds quicker than Marriott on their out lap. Cherry trying to close the gap. He's going to have to pit again though, so this isn't really a P3 for him. Harry's not going to have to pit. Remember, he started on the hards. Wack is going to have to pit, so he's out of position. Spin isn't pitting, so he's not out of position. Neither is Pyro. Neither is Colin. And Pasty, who did his 2 soft stints, he's in 9th now, but he's got a huge gap to make up to Colin, who's actually on pretty much identical tyre wear. GMS in 10th. We've got a little battle between H-Boss and Yuri. H-Boss wins that one. Yeah, that was pretty straightforward. Both of them on the medium, so H-Boss just feeling a bit more comfortable now. Sometimes you can gain pace as the evening goes on as well, as you find a little bit more comfort in how you're driving the car. Tend to find that with people who haven't practiced as much as others. They don't have the consistency down quite yet. Or sometimes it could just be the wind as well. If the wind is an unusual direction or unusually strong. Look at this turbo trying to move on JMS now. And he's in the gravel. Oh, nearly. And he's completely spanned. Luckily for Deco, even though he went at the gravel, he was ghosted. So, yeah, it's kind of indicative of Turbo Boy's season so far. He's not had the best of times back in Tier 3. Ooh, nice little power slide out of that corner for X90G. Cherry's being caught by Harry. Let's stick with this one for a little bit. Things are looking good for Zimmer. He's just being consistent. Everyone else is definitely not being consistent. And he's going to be putting on softs as well. He's going to have to refuel, which is going to cost him a bit of time. But not putting in the fuel for the end of the race actually got him P1. So as soon as I join them, Cherry and Harry start taking the corners pretty evenly here. The Citroen seems unusually strong at this track. You wouldn't have thought it would be. But Cherry's putting in some very good times. It's a weird car. It's a weird car. It's definitely very good now. Got a double win here in one of the Tier 4s. Lovely exit there for Harry. So, we've only got a few laps left. What's happening a little bit further down? Something's happened to Spin. Is it? Oh no, Spin's going to try and move on Pyro here. So, we got a nice three-way battle, including... well, all of them are actually race winners in this tier. Oh no, Colin's not. He's just the championship leader. He's trying to move on the outside of Spin. And Spin's trying to move himself on Pyro. But it's pretty much as you were. A little bit of contact there. In comes Whack, so they're all going to be promoted a position. Pyro up into 5th now. Colin is trying to get... This is quite a crucial position in both championships. Colin overtaking Spin here. Spin is on the hards. He's not got much to fight it, but he might be able to come back towards the end. And yeah, that's P6 now for Colin. It's going to be touch and go to see whether these guys actually are ahead of Zimmer when he eventually comes into pit for his softs at the end of this lap. He'll want them to just have a couple more battles though, because they do seem to be lapping pretty quickly. Let's see what lap time Zimmer's doing. 5.8, very, very quick for Zimmer. That is 2.2 quicker than what X90G is doing. Cherry's in the 7s, 5s for Harry. So he's absolutely on fire. He's got the fastest lap. 2 laps in the 5s in a row, on mediums as well. These medium times are actually quicker than what a lot of these guys did in qualifying on the softs. So yeah, Harry's definitely got the pace to win the championship. He just needs the consistency, because yeah, Colin's had the consistency. Even though you could say the McLaren's not been the outright fastest at any of these tracks. Here he comes though. He's definitely got a run on Cherry. Very difficult corner to get an overtake done at this chicane. It's a fast chicane. There's only one line through it. He's sending it. And he gets the position. He actually makes the corner incredibly well there. He goes a little bit deep into the corner because he was defending thin air. Now, there should be, as long as he gets a good exit, there should be it done and dusted for Harry. That's not going to be yet. Cherry needs to get into the slipstream and get an advantage here now. Harry's going ultra defensive. Nice to see that a Citroen can actually compete with the M6 now. That definitely didn't used to be the case in this game. So we've got two guys on the medium tyres. Let's see what's going to be happening with Zimmer. Ooh, a little bit of a dodgy corner there. Took a lot of curb. Quite a nice lead. So X90G is going to retake the lead of the race. I think it's looking fairly comfortable for him. Harry's ahead of Cherry. Did we just miss an overtake? No, he was already ahead. Never mind. So yeah, Harry's ahead of Cherry. He's going to get promoted into P2. Cherry is going to come into the pits now as well. So we have to see what happens here. Into the pits comes Zimmer. It's going to be a short stop. Oh dear. Nearly lost it there. But into the race lead goes X90G. Harry is obviously carrying on. Cherry's coming in for some softs as well. Then round comes Colin. Zimmer is putting in fuel. Let's stick on board with him because he might be very close to Colin on this exit. Colin goes through. Out of the pits comes Zimmer. There's Colin. There's Spin as well. Spin's on the hard. Zimmer P4 at a minimum, I think, is achievable. Pyro goes through ahead of Cherry, who puts in huge amount of fuel for 3 laps. Is that the same as what Zimmer's put in? A little bit more than what Zimmer's put in, so the Citroen's thirsty on the tank. I don't think it needs to be. I think you can massively short shift that car and get away with it. But he's ahead of H-Boss, who's been promoted up into 8th after everyone else has come into the pits. Decode 9 is 10th behind JMS. Wack in 11th. Yuri is in the pits now. He's going to come out ahead of Pasty and Turbo, who's been in the wars. So, X90G on for his second feature race win. He's only competed in 2 feature races this season, and he's won them. It looks like he's going to win them both. Unless Harry can do something here. He's on the mediums, but his mediums are a lot more worn. We know it's difficult to make some of these corners on the hards. Colin looks like he's going to get yet another podium, but it's not a P2. Spin has Zimmer all over the back of him. So is Zimmer going to brake for this corner? A very, very small amount. Very small amount. That's the lowest I've seen anyone brake. Looks like he was nice and early on the corner as well. Get into the slipstream, get the position done. He's got good overspeed here. Look at that. Spin's going to try and go defensive. I think he's not got a chance here. He's going to try, and Zimmer gives him the space. He could have tried to stick it around the outside, but Spin was actually coming in quite hot there, so avoided an incident by doing that. Yeah, Zimmer's going to have to regroup in the next corner or two. He's got plenty of time to get that spot, especially if Spin's going to go wide into the corner. I think Spin's probably feeling the pressure now. Here we go. Zimmer can brake a lot later than Spin here if he's feeling up for it. He decides not to. He's trying to get the cutback. Spin goes deep. Is that going to be a penalty though? It looked a little bit like Zimmer was very close to cutting that corner. He might have got away with it. Here we go. This should be it. No, Spin's holding his own pretty well there on those hard tyres. Zimmer's trying to be careful. You could tell he's trying to bide his time. He knows he's going to get this position. There we go. It happens eventually, and it ended up being super straightforward. Unless Spin tries something crazy at this final corner, or gets a great exit into turn 1. It doesn't end up being a great exit. So, up to P4 again for Zimmer. This has turned out to be a great strategy for him. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Pyro's still in 6th, pretty much on his own in no man's land. Cherry, after his pit stops in 7th, has a chance of potentially catching Pyro, whose tyres might actually go off. Look how worn that front left is. You can hear him screeching around turn 1. That's not going to be good for the tyres. They might be overheating a little bit. So yeah, Cherry will be trying to get that P6. H-Boss's tyres look pretty good. GMS still in 9th. Deco trying to chase him down on softer compounds, but his tyres are a lot worse for wear. And then we got these guys outside the top 10. Pasty's in the pits again. I don't know what. He's on softs still. What's going on here? I have no idea. Turbo's coming in as well. These guys are coming in to try and get faster slaps. That's what they're doing. But quite well, his lead is a lot smaller than it was a lap or two ago. So an 8.3 for X90G and a 6.1 for Harry. He's catching him 2 seconds a lap. The victory is not assured here at all. But what's crucial here is Harry might be lapping a lot quicker, but his tyres might not actually survive for this last lap and a half that he's got to go. So around the chicane he goes. He's looking pretty assured though. Colin all on his own now in P3. Zimmer trying to catch him up. Needs to be setting more hot lap style times here, at least in the 5s, if not the 4s. So yeah, Zimmer's still with an outside chance of a podium. Spin shuffled down to 5th on his hard tyres. Yeah, Pyro's one to watch on this last lap for sure. I don't have much faith in those tyres. Oh, here comes Deco finally on JMS. The side-by-side into the chicane. GMS gets a better exit through there, but Deco kept a lot of speed and has the inside line for the corner. And yeah, great corner there for Deco, up into 9th. Not his race in this feature, and again I think he might be struggling at the end with how worn his tyres are. It might come back to GMS, we'll have to wait and see. Let's join this one. Harry is very close now to X90G. He's in the slipstream. We have a British 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. That's nice. Spin ruining the perfect British flag top 8 plus fastest lap. Here we go, final lap. So a 7.5 for Harry and a 9.5 for Marriott. So this might be a struggle. He's clearly losing some time on those hard tyres now. Harry taking much wider entries into the corner to try and get a good slingshot on the exit, but his tyres are not giving him the traction to allow him to do that. So X90G just slightly edging away by a 1/10 or 2 out of those corners, immediately being caught up again in the braking zone for this one. Remember, the Ford is not good in cornering compared to some of these other cars. As long as he gets a good exit, I think it's going to be too difficult to overtake him on this lap. Harry trying some different things. He's not really pulling out to try and like put X90G off though. Okay, so into this next corner. Yeah, a little bit wide there for Harry. He's struggling on these worn tyres. You can tell. He's kept the speed good enough to not actually lose any time. Didn't look like the best corner for Natty at the front either, but just about enough. They're both lapping fairly slowly on this lap compared to what we're used to seeing. A little bit further back, Zimmer is, he's catching. He's 2.5 seconds quicker a lap than Colin, so that might be another one. But let's stick. Oh, never mind. Harry, let's see where that happened. There we go, completely off track there. That's going to be the penalty that is potentially handing X90G the race win. And we'll have to see what. Let's stick with these for the next few corners, because Zimmer still should be a lot quicker than Colin with the health that he's got on those tyres. Zimmer's doing the same strategy I did actually. and I was P4. So maybe that's what this strategy is good enough for, but I think he'll be pretty pleased. This is going to be a huge result for him. If he can get one more position on the championship leader on this last lap as well, that's going to be pretty special. But he's about a second and a half down with a few corners left. Oh, was that a corner cut? I think he's got away with it as well. So here, this is his last big moment. Can he close the gap? If he can close the gap in these corners, then he's got a chance. Yeah, Mason a little bit wide through them, but he's kept good speed. There we go. Yeah, a good corner exit there again. So I think that's it, done and dusted. Round the final corner comes. X90G is going to take his second feature race win in 2 feature races that he's competed in. Not bad for a reserve. Race victory there. Harry, a really solid P2, and Colin, yet another podium. Doesn't really do finishing off the podium there. So extends his championship lead with this round. Zimmer in P4. Best result of the season for him. Spin in P5, I think he'll be pretty pleased with that. Then we got Pyro just ahead of Cherry. Cherry trying the 2-stop, but getting shuffled back a little bit. We got H-Boss in 8th in the end. So another P11, P8, just like in the previous round he competed in. So very consistent results there. Deco in 9th in the end, just ahead of JMS. The tyres did start coming back to JMS, but it wasn't enough. Whack, race to forget, round to forget. His tyres, even though he only did 3 laps on them, or maybe 4, I can't remember, completely gone. Yuri contributing some points for McLaren, but it's definitely been BMW's day in the Constructors. And he is P12. Then we have Pasty once again showing some good pace, but down in 13th, and Turbo really quick around here, but a lot of issues and incidents and gravel. So he'll have to dust himself off and try again next week. So that's it. There we go. So next week we're at the shortest circuit that you could possibly get, apart from Blue Moon, which is shortly after. So yeah, a nice little contrast from this. Lago Maggiore East, Laggy Maggie. So yeah, join us for that. Thanks for watching.